running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, welcome in, everyone, to episode 314 of the Dream Wager. Today, October the 1st, 2023. As always, I'm your host, D-Rock, and joining me, as always, our NBA guru. Hey, NBA, we got big news. I think we should start there, Elvis. E, how you doing today, kid?
Bill, we're doing me personally, okay, could be better. We just got embarrassed, not gonna lie. But other than that, though, we're doing okay. Family good, we're good. That's all that matters.
That's what I like to see. Yeah, so we actually had a busy day today. Besides the London games, literally, I think about an hour or two before the start, a Woj bomb just dropped on us. We said it. Drew Holiday is going to be traded. He was traded today to the Celtics for Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, a 2024 Golden State first-round pick, a 2029 unprotected first-round pick as well. So, you know, the full details. You got two players and two first-round draft picks, 2029 and a 2024, which will probably be high first-round draft picks, but and altogether, the Blazers turned Damian Lillard into DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, Tumuni Cameron, 3 first-round draft picks, and 2 pick swaps. You think they won that deal?
Did they win? I'm gonna call that a massive haul deal. I think the Portland Trailblazers didn't just set themselves up for the future deal, but got hope for every other owner in the league, saying, all right, if a superstar wants to leave, guess what? We're going to wait it out. We're going to wait till the best trade is available, and that's what we're going to do. We're not going to keep letting the superstar pinpoint where he wants to go. You know, Dame wanted to go to Miami. It was reports saying he wouldn't go to no other team but Miami. Boom. Ends up in Portland. Ends up at the Bucks, and then look at the trades that's going on now, though. I think Portland came out not just winners, victorious.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think that we'll see how they produce on the field, but let me talk about the Boston side, because we have talked about the Portland side for a minute. The Boston side, losing Robert Williams, you know, rim protector, losing Brogdon, he's a veteran. Horford is getting old. You know, Drew Holiday, he's older, he's a little slower. I think it's going to be a lot of overs for this team. You know, I don't think they'll be able to play a lot of defense, but the team offensively, they're going to score a lot of points. With Drew Holiday, you got Jason Tatum, you got Jaylen Brown, you got Kristaps Porzingis. I forgot about him. He's on the Celtics now. But yeah, I think a lot of overs. What do you think about Boston? They don't have a lot of depth, but they got some stars.
I like the trade for Boston as well. You know, I think it betters the odds. But defensively, though, we know Boston to be that defensive team, though, and losing Robert Williams, that anchor down low, though, I think it's gonna be, especially against the Bucks. You know, the Bucks still got Brook Lopez, Giannis, Bobby Portis, so they're playing big. You know, so I think it's gonna hurt them come playoff time, especially if they're lined up with the Bucks still. But I like the trade. I think it's definitely a win for the Celtics, still, just because you get a veteran / all-star. And Drew Holiday, you know, defensive player of the year candidate every single year. You know, remember, they lost Marcus Smart. So, you know, I feel like you lose one defensive player there, you bring another one in. Yes, you lose Robert Williams still, but you got so much offensive firepower. And then you got arguably one of the best, you know, perimeter defenders. And then I think Al Horford still got some life in him that he can still, you know, protect the paint. And so can Kristaps Porzingis, if healthy, though. That's going to be the main concern.
Big
if Porzingis is healthy, he can man the paint, people. Let's just be clear. But he got to be healthy come playoff time.
Yeah, and, you know, the current plan for the Blazers, they plan to keep Robert Williams, pair him up with DeAndre Ayton. They think, apparently people inside the building think he's a top 5 center in the league. I don't know if I agree with that, but they're high on DeAndre Ayton. But there's been certainly a lot of interest, according to Woj, that Malcolm Brogdon and teams have been calling Portland. So they're not even done. They might
They're
trade
not.
away Malcolm Brogdon and get
Give us
more.
give us another first round pick. Why not?
They're doing exactly what the Thunder is doing.
They got Simons, they got Scoot Henderson. They're kind of good at at the guard position, Dill. And they're low. You got Ayton, you got Williams, so they're deep. You still got Jeremy Grant there. This team is gonna be good. If Scoot Henderson turns out to be all-star caliber player, Dill, watch out.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick because that did happen before the games. But let's start across the pond, Elvis. It was a very good game. The London game was cool. Jags wind up winning. The game goes way under. I thought Jaguars played well. They got a couple turnovers from Desmond Ridder, and that's very surprising. Desmond Ridder has only had one career interception, so it was but he did play much better in the second half. I will say that. But the turnovers essentially killed them and killed all the drive that they had. But Falcons do get the win 23-7. They moved to 2-2. Trevor Lawrence, had a good game, threw for over 200 yards. Weren't able to really run the ball too much with Travis Etienne, but Christian Kirk had a big game. Evan Ingram had a big game. You knew they were going to try to take away Calvin Ridley. He did score that touchdown early, but other than that, Jaguars just do just enough to get the job done. What's your thoughts on this game?
Dill, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars defense was the impressive in this matchup, Dill. Your boy Josh Allen finally had a good game. He had a couple sacks in the game. Desmond Ridder, Dill, like you said, not known for throwing interceptions, threw a couple bad ones today, Dill. Not for nothing. When he threw that pick six, I didn't know Desmond Ridder was that fast. He almost chased down.
He almost caught him.
Yeah, I didn't know Desmond Ridder probably runs like a 4.6. I didn't know he was that fast. But anywho, Bijan Robinson showing you why he was the eighth pick overall. Dill, he's special, Dill. To be honest, to me, I'm getting frustrated just because we see the talent Drake London possesses, and he's just not getting the targets. Another one I'm getting frustration. Kyle Pitts, Dill, one target. Jonnu Smith, former Patriot, by the way.
He had a game.
Dill, there's no don't get me wrong. Jonnu Smith is a good solid tight end, but there's no reason he should be having a better game than Kyle Pitts, who you took 4th overall. Yeah. So it's just, I love it. Those things just don't make sense to me, Dill. That you gotta feed London the ball. You gotta feed Kyle Pitts the ball. No disrespect to Jonnu Smith, but come on. And then Jacksonville, Dill, give credit. They finally woke up. Like I said, I had a feeling to go wake up. The second half, they kind of slowed down a little bit. That worries me, son. They kind of had they didn't finish drives, though, especially in the first half. They kind of left points on the board. A couple of 4th down miscues. So, like the win, wasn't a great win. Could have been more. It could have been like a 35-7. Honest.
Real quick, I think they struggle in the red zone. They don't have a problem moving the ball, but when they get down to the 20-15, they kind of stall out. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's kind of frustrating watching the offense sometimes because they do have so many pieces. And on the flip side, like you mentioned, Jonnu Smith, man, 6 catches, 95 yards. Have yourself a day. He's still to play.
Yeah, no disrespect to him, but come on. You got to give
I get it. You drafted him at 4.
At 4. It's not like you took him in the second round and you found a diamond in the rough. No, you took Kyle Pitts at 4.
And also, Drake London and Kyle Pitts are both 6'4", 6'6" kind of guys. So just get them out in space and have their big bodies go up and get it. You could see Drake London and Kyle Pitts are getting frustrated on the sideline because I don't think they believe in Desmond Ridder. So it's unfortunate. The one guy I don't think should ever come off the field, and I know they have a track history of, having a short span, but Bijan Robinson is fucking fantastic. There's no reason why this man should come off the field on offense. The one-handed catches, extending the drive on 3rd down. There was multiple times early in the game that they were 3rd and 9, and Desmond Ridder just panicked and threw it to Bijan Robinson, and he would get a 1st down. So 5 catches for 32 yards. He had over 140 total purpose yards. He rushed for 105 yards. It was an amazing game, but I guess that's really the only bright spot for this Atlanta Falcon team. Next week in London, Jacksonville staying in London. They're actually going to play in Tottenham Stadium where the Spurs play now, and they're going to play against the Buffalo Bills. Right now, Bills are 4.5-point favorites in London against Jacksonville. And Atlanta, they come home and they're favorites. 2.5-point favorites over the Houston Texans, who had a
Wow.
big win as well. Anything you're looking forward in those two games real quick?
I tell you what, though, that Bills in Jacksonville is going to be a electric show, especially out in London. Interested to hear the crowd in that game, though. And then the fact that Atlanta is favored after losing 2 straight the way they did, and then we seen how good the Texans have looked back-to-back weeks. CJ Stroud is looking strong, though. Let's fast forward to that game, though. Let's break that game down.
Okay, yeah. I mean, they get a big win at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Final score there, 30-6. CJ Stroud, 306 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, not turning the ball over. He's thrown for over 300 yards in all 4 games so far. They're 2-2. Dameon Pierce ran the ball well. CJ Stroud did go over his rushing yards for me, but have yourself a day. Nico Collins, even Dalton Schultz had a few nice catches as well. So I love everything about him. His awareness, the way he picks up the defense, his reads, the way he takes care of the ball. This Houston team, they play some defense as well. Don't count them out. There's going to be a pesky team.
Still. This Houston team is starting to excite me, Dill.
Yeah.
Back-to-back wins, keeping it close, destroying the damn Steelers today, Dill. Wow. Defensive side of the ball, 3 sacks, interception, just took apart Kenny Pickett. Hate that I saw him go down with an injury, Dill, but give this defense tremendous credit, Dill. They went out and showed out today, Dill. Give credit to them. Then CJ Stroud, he's out here setting records. I think he has the most completions to start a career without throwing an interception. I think this is he's averaging over 300 yards a game, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, over 50% today. Yeah, the 16 for 30, not impressive, people, but he's a rookie. He threw for 300, no interceptions. That's what's impressive. And he has his team tied for first place in the division. Go Houston.
Yeah, they're a very exciting team. I don't think any of us saw that. Even when we did the preview with a Houston native, Munaf, he even didn't think. I think they're ahead of schedule, which is a good thing. I think he's been, obviously, I don't think there could be any debate. He's been the best rookie quarterback this year. And I could also, I think it's enough sample size that DeMeco Ryan is the very good hire. He has that defense playing really well. What do you think about DeMeco Ryans in that defense?
We already knew what he was going to bring on the defensive side of the ball. Now the whole team is fired up, though. And the fact that this team is 2-2 this soon is just sky's the limit for this team now, though.
Yeah, so like I said, Texans are short road dogs next week against Atlanta. 2.5.
To me, they should be the favorites.
Yeah. Well, I will say Atlanta is just a different team at home. Desmond Ridder is undefeated at home. So I understand. It was like this week with Bills. Bills were home. And everyone's like, oh, why are the Bills favorite? I think they showed you why. Next week, Kenny Pickett did go out. So Mitchell Trubisky, I think, might wind up getting all the first team snaps this week. They're at home playing the Baltimore Ravens, -3 right now on the road for the Baltimore Ravens. But another game, and I think I guess your biggest or my biggest takeaway, Buffalo Bills at home, and they just smacked the Miami Dolphins 48-20. The game goes over. They cover the 3 or 3.5, whatever you ended up getting. And Josh Allen, have yourself a fucking day. 21 for 25. He had just 4 incomplete passes. He threw for over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. Didn't run the ball that well, but I mean, they didn't need to when Stephon Diggs had the day he did. 6 catches for 120 yards, 3 touchdowns. Gabe Davis, he got in the action as well. Man, this Buffalo team, I was wrong, man. They really turned things around after week 1. They gathered the troops up, and tough loss. After scoring 70 points, you let up 48. What went wrong for Miami?
Dill, I'm not gonna say what went wrong for them. I think Josh Allen just had himself a day. I think that's what it was, Dill. It no matter what defense was out there, I don't think he was going to stop this kid today, Dill. Josh Allen was just on fire, Dill. This kid only had 4 incompletions, 21 for 25, 320, 4 touchdowns, Dill. He had a perfect passer rating of 158.3. You can't do any better. You can't have a better quarterback game than what we witnessed today from Josh Allen, Dill. Defense stepped up, made Tua Tua didn't have a bad game, but it was definitely his
No.
worst game of the season thus far.
I think we could end the debate. Josh Allen is better than Tua because a lot of people.
I don't think it was ever a debate. Maybe on
No,
Twitter
there were people because leading the league since coming in with interceptions. I've heard the noise, but I want to put it out there, and I know we're on record for saying King Tua, but I think Josh Allen, when healthy and he's not turning the ball over, is way better than Tua. I just want to put it out there.
Yeah, Dill. So I'm gonna give credit to Josh Allen because what he did today was special. Stephon Diggs had himself a fucking career day, Dill. Just from 6 catches, 120, 3 tubs, and that one when he broke 2 tackles, he kind of just
ridiculous.
It was just special, Dill, what he was able to do. So just give credit to Josh Allen. I'm not gonna overreact on Miami, Dill, just because Josh Allen was special. What he did today was special, and I'm not going to blame Miami. They put up 20 points on the road against a very good Buffalo's defense still. Got to still give them some credit there. First quarter was a fucking shootout. And then the Bills just took over, Dill. So I'm not going to overreact Miami. They're still a very good team, but Josh Allen had himself a fucking day.
I want to give an extra shout-out to Stephon Diggs, the Stone Cold fucking celebration with the beer.
He might get fined. He might get fined for that. I hope he don't. I hope he don't, though. Yeah, I hope
don't care. No, it was amazing. I thought, they had a big game. A shout out to Mar Hamlin, active. He actually played today. So it's good to see him finally out there. Tough loss, though. Tre'Davious White did go down, non-contact injury. He just came off an ACL injury. You knew it popped. He had the towel over his head. So tough loss in a very good win, but you feel for that secondary. But thankfully, Von Miller coming back to practice this week. So, addition by subtraction, but you can't replace a Tre'Davious White. I thought, he's one of the best corners in the league. So, other than that, Broncos wind up coming back and getting the win. Ridiculous. It was 28-7 at one point, Elvis. It was actually a good game. Fields had a day, but you're up 28-7. You got to win that game. Matt Eberflus he has to answer a lot of questions because this team should have won this game. They should be 1-3. There's no reason the Denver Broncos should have won that game. Russell Wilson didn't play all that good, I thought. They weren't able to run the ball. Their running back went out. Javonte Williamson got hurt, and they still weren't really able to run the ball. And DJ Moore had a good game. Cole Kmet, he had 2 touchdowns. Khalil Hubbard, they couldn't stop him either. So it felt like everything was going the Chicago Bears way, but they always shoot themselves in the foot, man. What happened in the second half?
Dill, I just want to real quick. Justin Fields at one point in this game was 16 for 16, 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. And then I think again, 19 for 21, I think, with 4 touchdowns and 200.
Yeah.
Still, what I witnessed in the second half, in the fourth quarter,
it might be fireable offense.
It's a fireable offense. Justin Fields played himself a great game, Dill, but I have to give him blame on this one, Dill. The sack at the end, you can't just throw it away. Just throw it out of bounds, throw it at somebody's foot, or just get down. You should know better by now, Justin. You've been through it. It's been a rough 3 weeks. You was sitting pretty. All you had to do was take the sack. Just take the sack. You possibly win the game. But no, it's a strip 60 the other way. Now you got to make some plays. Boom, you throw an interception. Still, what more could we say about this Bears team? I was texting during the game.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna lose their job for the Broncos. And look, now they're out here celebrating a win. It's a shame that the Bears are 0-4, Dill. Because I'm not gonna give Sean Payton and Russell Wilson a lot of credit. Give Russell Wilson.
They don't deserve it.
They don't deserve credit, but I'm gonna say Russ did go 3 touchdowns or interceptions. That's the only highlight I'm gonna give to the Denver Broncos. But this is shameful for the Bears.
Yeah, very shameful. I will say, though, that, this is the best game I think I've ever seen Justin Fields play.
Oh, no, without a doubt, though. Yeah. Without a doubt.
I mean, the one strip sack where they fumbled, it did come from his blind side. I don't want to put it all on him. He has to feel the pocket a little better, but Yeah, that one fucking hurt him. The interception late hurt him, trying to force it at trying to just get into field goal range.
And it
But
was a bad ball too. It
yeah,
wasn't
I
even
mean
accurate.
he was trying to just get into field goal range. But I feel him. The defense kind of gave up too. I felt like, but yeah, the Dookie Bowl. That's what Joe's saying in the chat. So the Broncos ain't the shittiest, I'll tell you that much. They are 1-3 right now. Other games that happened in the 1 o'clock slate: Ravens big win on the road against Cleveland. They have wins on the road against Cleveland. Um, the Browns, Cincinnati, and then they go on the road next week against Pittsburgh. So they could have all divisional wins on the road. So very, very tough schedule, but they get the job done. They cover outright dogs. We got the news late: shoulder injury for Deshaun Watson. So DTR was just flushed in there. Rookie had no chance against that defense. I actually felt bad for him. 3 interceptions. It looked like he was lost out there reading defense. And when Roquan Smith was getting after him, he backed up everything he said pre-game or preseason. Lamar Jackson, good game, 2 touchdowns. He ran for 27 yards and had 2 running touchdowns as well. They're getting healthier. Mark Andrews had a nice big catch as well in the end zone. He actually had 2 touchdowns. But what'd you see from the Ravens? Good win on the road.
Still good win. Not impressive,
I mean, they put up 28 points on the best defense, quote unquote.
Yeah, Dill. Yeah, I gotta give credit there, Dill. But DTR, DTR. They brought a knife to a gunfight, Dill. I like you said, it felt bad for him. It was just bad play. The fact that he was able to put up 3 late, and he had another good drive late as well, but he couldn't just put anything together against that defense. So give credit to the Ravens still. Lamar had himself a good game, 15 for 19, 2 touchdowns, also ran for 2 on those short fields they was able to get from their defense. So just give credit for the Ravens just taking care of business the way they had to.
Yeah, 100%. Big win. Now they're on the road next week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But they're getting healthier. They got Stanley back as well. So good team win. And, I didn't think they played all that well. They really didn't need to. But to score 28 points, which has never been done so far this season, I got to give them a little credit offensively. So good win for them there. Vikings, let's go to they get their first win, 21-13. They wind up covering the 4. The game goes under. Kirk Cousins, not the best game, but he just does enough to get the win. 12 for 19, 139 yards. Alexander Madison actually had a pretty good game, 17 carries for 95 yards. Justin Jefferson, shocker, he didn't go over. He had 6 catches, 85 yards for 2 touchdowns, but Adam Thielen had a pretty good game. They weren't really able to run the ball, but what do you think about Bryce Young? I was hearing a lot of bad mouth again out of Twitter and just people on Twitter saying, Bryce Young is just not the guy.
What? Yo, Dill. This kid went 25 for 32 today against a pretty good defense in Minnesota, Dill. Brian Forrest could coach the guys up as best as anyone out there, Dill. So I think he had himself a pretty good game. Yes, he took a couple unnecessary sacks. He just got to get rid of the ball. Just doing rookie shit, Dill, as usual, Dill. I'm not gonna blast him for looking like a rookie, Dill. I think he's looking just fine. The fact that he only did 7 incompletions today, Dill, I think it's pretty good. I just feel like the organization and like the fans just expect too much from him this soon. Like, we're only 4 games in. Like, what did you expect? You want him to go 32 for 32? Like, I don't know what more you expect from him. The only issue I have with him is honestly, Dill, he just holds the ball too long in the pocket and gets sacked. He took. I counted at least 3 unnecessary sacks, but he could have just easily just threw the ball out of bounds on the floor. Like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers never takes a sack. Tom Brady never takes a sack. They just get rid of the ball. So he just got to work on that. I feel like he played okay. He didn't play bad. So
no,
I don't know what the noise is about.
I think he needs to realize we're not in Alabama. The guys aren't going to be wide open. Alabama plays you got 3 to 5 seconds, if that. On a good pass protection, you have 3 to 5 seconds. So the ball needs to be out. So it's not that he's reading it slow. It's just open in college is not open in the NFL. You know what I mean? The windows are very tight, so he needs to just throw the ball a little quicker. I think I agree. I think he holds on to the ball a little too much, but other than that, I didn't think he played all that terrible. Let's go out to Tennessee. King Henry and the Tennessee Titans. They just smacked Joe Burrow in the fucking mouth. Ryan Tannehill, pretty good game, 18 for 25, 240 yards. He had the one interception, but he did have a touchdown as well to Nick Westbrook as well. DeAndre Hopkins led the team in catches and receiving yards. Derrick Henry had a throwing. Derrick Henry is tied with Joe Burrow with touchdown passes in the season. Let that sink in. That's insane. You know, I know everyone loves to blame all the struggles that the Bengals have right now on Joe Burrow's injury, but you watch the game, Elvis. There's so much more that's wrong with this team than just Joe Burrow and his injury. Like T. Higgins is now hurt. Just the chemistry on offense, they don't look in sync. The play calling doesn't look good. So they're in trouble right now. I think they're in trouble right now. I would start to worry if I was a Cincinnati fan. Offensively, they do not look good.
Dude, I wish we had a horn, like a panic button, because it's time to panic in Cincinnati, people. You know, Joe Burrow doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all. T. Higgins goes down. Jamar Chase goes viral after the game in the post game, saying he's always fucking open. Excuse the cursing, but
I mean, is he wrong?
He's not. Dude,
that's what I'm saying.
He's not wrong. You know, so it was just a bad look. You know, it's bad enough how you look, you know, the beginning of the season, and now you have a great performance. I'm a good performance in Monday Night Football, and then you just go to Tennessee and you just shit the bed. You just shit the bed, Dill. You know, offensive running game never really got going. Joe Burrow never really looked accurate. You know, he had some good balls, especially in the first drive, Dill. But after that, he kind of settled down after those 3 points, Dill, and it didn't really look the same. Give credit to Tennessee. Derrick Henry had himself a vintage game. Even tossed one into the end zone.
So, I love it.
You know, just give credit to Tennessee for just humiliating the Cincinnati Bengals, and honestly, taking them out of contention, Dill. I don't think the Cincinnati is a Super Bowl contending team anymore.
Not with this offense, they can't be. And credit to you. You picked the Ravens. You said they're going to have a bounce back year, and they're in prime position right now in the AFC North. But, yeah, I would start to worry if I was a Cincinnati fan. So, tough times there. But I do hope Joe Burrow gets a little healthy, because when he is, that team is legit. So, let's go out to New Orleans. The first place Buccaneers, 3-1. They get the win on the road. Derek Carr gave it a win, but you could tell he wasn't 100% with his shoulder. Baker Mayfield, have yourself a day, kid. 25 for 32, 246, 3 tutties. He did have the one pick late, but other than that, they really didn't need to run the ball. Chris Godwin had himself a hell of a day. Even Devin Thompson, he picked up as soon as Mike Evans went out with the hamstring. So Kamara came back, but he really didn't pose any threat, especially, I mean, he had 13 catches for 33 yards. That's nothing. He had 11 carries for 51 yards. They couldn't run the ball. Derek Carr didn't look good. Chris Olave had one catch. You're not going to win games when Chris Olave has one catch. I'm sorry. So first I want to get your thoughts on the first place Tampa Bay Bucks. Are you surprised?
Dude, I'm shocked. You know, the fact that I'm shocked that they're 3-1 sitting on the top of the division. You know, after the first couple of weeks of the season, I'm not shocked that they beat the Saints. I'm just shocked how the outcome of the game, 26-9. I understand Derek Carr wasn't 100%. That's why I'm not shocked that the Bucks was able to go in there and get the win. I'm just surprised that the Bucks are 3-1 sitting on top of the division. I'm shocked that Baker Mayfield was able to bounce back after a bad game last week, come back, goes 25 for 32 after throwing a bad interception in the first quarter, by the way. Go 25 for 32, 3 touchdowns. Still, even with Mike Evans going out with a hamstring injury, hopefully he's nothing too serious. Chris Godwin had himself a day, having himself a vintage game, looking like he had before the ACL injury deal. 8 catches, 114, no touchdowns still, but he averaged 14 yards a catch still. something special, Dill. So give Baker Mayfield and that defense credit. Even though Derek Carr was playing with the arm behind his back, Dill, they still had to go out there and show out, Dill.
I think that's the big thing. I thought they were going to be able to score points. I didn't expect Baker to play this good. I got to give him his flowers because he's playing well above, I think, a lot of people anticipated coming into the season. But you're right. That defense, man, they're stopping the run. The Saints were held without a touchdown. That just can't happen. When you have Mike Williams, Alvin Kamara, Crystal Olave, you need to be able to score points, not field goals, touchdowns. You bring in Derek Carr for a reason, and everyone anticipated, including you and I, for them to win the AFC South. And now the Buccaneers 3-1, 2-0, and they're 2-0 on the road. Like, their defense is playing fantastic. So you're right. I got to give them their flowers because they played a hell of a game, that defense, and they're contenders in that division. They're live. So I like them. And then last game in the Monday night, a good bounce back game from the Redskins. I know they lost, but man, just the turnaround from Sam Howell that I saw, he didn't turn the ball over. He threw for 290 yards. He had that one touchdown to Dotson late in the game. But poise, he made the right throws. Terry McLaurin had a good game. Curtis Samuel had a good game as well. Brian Robinson had a good game. My one issue is Riverboat Ron, you got to go for 2. Close the game out. I don't know why I get why you're just going for 1, but you can't have the nickname Riverboat Ron Rivera and then not go for 2 and try to close out the Eagles. But did you like the performance from the Redskins? A good bounce back.
So I think it was a great performance from the Redskins. So I think they did enough to win this game. I think they fall hard on the road. Give them credit, covering the 8.5. Sam Howell, Dill, I beat on him last week throwing those 4 interceptions. But Dill, he out there, he went out there and impressed me, Dill. He showed me that he has poise, he has confidence. He'll go on the road and bounce back, Dill, and that's what shows me. Eric Bieniemy, he called himself a day, Dill. Give the Eagles credit for sniffing out the victory, Dill, but they could have easily lost this game, So, AJ Brown had himself a day. I guess that,
God.
I'm not going to say that bitching on the sideline kind of worked out for his benefit. Monster back-to-back weeks for him. Jalen Hurts. Look, the offense is finally clicking. The defense worried me a little bit just because you give up 31 at home. You can't allow that, Dill. But the fact that Jalen Hurts and the offense is starting to hit the high gear, Dill, is what impresses me the most, Dill. I'm not really concerned about the defense. It's just the offense through the first 3 weeks of the season was just a little, a little startled at times. So the fact that Jalen Hurts had himself a day, now the Eagles are finally rolling. But hey, Washington's going to be a tough game throughout the whole season. So watch out for Washington.
Yeah, they're a gritty team. I think defensively, they were actually good stopping the run. Swift didn't really have that big of a game. Jalen Hurts, they kept in check, even Kenneth Gainwell. But passing on both sides, I think the secondary for both teams are their Achilles heel. I do worry about the secondary for the Eagles. They did enough to get the win, but offensively, I mean, A.J. Brown had himself a day. 9 catches, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns as well. But, yeah, they stay undefeated at home. But, this is going to be a very gritty team. They fought the whole game. Eagles secondary got torched. And so did the Redskins secondary as well. But shout out, I think Jake Elliott, the kicker, he was the player of the day for the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me see his stats. 4 for 4, longest 154. He made both his extra points as well. He had 14 points for the Eagles. And, I don't think the Redskins stock goes down. I actually was impressed of what I saw. Is that fair to say?
I think it goes up, though, because I had them way low after last week, and I'm going to be honest, still, with the performance today, it shows me that they could battle with these heavy hitters in the NFC. We said it from the beginning. The NFC is wide open, so if the Washington Redskins could just keep on pace, though, they could find themselves, in that playoff slot in the 7th seed if they just keep on keeping on. You see, the Vikings are 1-3. So they have a shot to make the playoffs. Who would have thought the Buccaneers at 3-1? So it all depends if the NFC South, if the Saints and the Bucks to keep it up, who's going to come out of that division and then who takes the wild card spot. But we might see 3 teams from the NFC East once again make the playoffs still.
I love it. You just got to keep on improving each game. I did forget the one game. The Rams avoid an epic meltdown. I mean, AR-15 and that, whatever it is, whatever the coach says in the second half, they come out in the second half and they play. Anthony Richardson didn't have the best game offensively in the first half, but second half he played pretty good. I thought he had that touchdown in the third quarter, and then they scored 15 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to tie the game up and force overtime. But Anthony Richardson, 11 for 25, 200 yards. He had the 2 touchdowns. I thought they ran the ball actually pretty well on that defense, especially Zach Moss, 18 carries for 70 yards. But credit Matthew Stafford with those sidearm throws. He's the man. And Puka Nacua, man. This guy coming out of nowhere, 9 catches, 163 yards, the most catches in a 4-game beginning of 4-game of your career. So shout out him. They found someone in Puka Nacua. But yeah, big game for the Rams, and they bounced back after that tough loss against the Bengals.
Still, the Rams. Shout out the Rams. Shout out Puka Nacua, still setting the all-time record to start her NFL career with the most catches. I think it's at 39. Antoine Bolden held the record at 20. Shout out Antoine Bolden. That kid's a fucking legend. Just want to give him his flowers. But Puka Nacua was something special. Give credit to the Rams going on the road, showing up, going up 20-0 at half. And then fucking the Colts come out of nowhere in the second half and made it fucking interesting, Dill. Give credit to didn't give him the nickname AR-15, and I'm starting to like it, Dill.
You like
First
that?
half, he was horrendous. I'm not going to lie. First half, he was terrible. The second half, he was able to make the magic happen with his arms, with his legs, Dill. So I just feel like the kid needs to get a little more poise in the pocket, needs to be a little more accurate between those 10 to 20-yard throws, Dill. And you probably could get something with the kid, Dill. At the end of the day, the Colts, right at 2-2, the division is still right there. Jacksonville doesn't look supreme beam, Dill. So I like what the Colts could do. Anthony Richardson looks pretty good. Dill, here's some possibility. The pumpless Jonathan Taylor's coming off. Some people say he might be playing week 5. There's no trade talks.
I doubt it.
We'll see about that kid. I think he's gonna go out there and play. He wants his money. Why not, Dill? Give credit to the Rams, Matthew Stafford, look at vintage Stafford in that overtime drive, but give credit to the Colts for making it a shootout.
4:00 slate. The Chargers take care of business against the Raiders. They cover the 6.5 if you got the 6.5. Justin Herbert looked okay. Winded up getting hurt late in the game. He winded up playing with like a bandage and a splint on his left hand. It wasn't his throwing hand, but thankfully, 13 for 24, 167 yards. He did have that interception late, but still playing without Austin Eckler. They get the job done. Joshua Palmer had a pretty good game, 3 catches for 77 yards. Keenan Allen had the touchdown early in the day. Khalil Mack, 6 sacks. Have yourself a day, kid. But other than that, I just felt like the Raiders offensively, they kind of struggled without Jimmy G. Devontae Adams winded up. I thought he wound up getting hurt late, but he wound up coming back. He had an all right game, 8 catches for 75 yards. Josh Jacobs actually had a really good game catching the ball and running the ball. But they fought a little late, but Chargers did wind up winning. Brandon Staley's job is saved for one more week.
So, good win for the Chargers. Not an impressive win just because, Raiders had I thought it was going to go on, man. Brian Hoyer, Super Bowl champ now.
Yeah.
And then ended up going with Aiden O'Connell. He didn't play bad. He didn't play bad. Played better than I expected, to be honest. He probably would have played better than Brian Hoyer, to be honest, though. It's just Justin Herbert. He did not look good. 1 interception, 13 for 24. Against any other team in the division, they're losing this game by double digits. Let's just be not the Broncos, but a ton of teams in the AFC, they're losing this game, though. So they got lucky. Honestly, Jimmy G wins this game. So Not a great game overall. Khalil Mack had himself a day deal, but other than that, not a bright outing from the Chargers. The fact that they were able to sneak out a victory, give them kudos, give them credit, but not impressive overall.
Nah, not at
Defensively, they
all.
finally showed up, kept the team to under 20 points, not a ton of yards still. But O'Connell was able to throw for 240 on them. Still a little concerning.
Yeah, very concerning. I think they kind of stay even kill. Good that they got the win, but they should have won by more.
It's not an impressive win.
Yeah, 100%. Let's go out to the other 4:00 game. The 49ers take care of business at home, 35-16.
CMC.
The game goes over. They cover the point, and yeah, CMC, he's the best running back in the league. I mean, what can't this man do? He does everything you want in a running back. Running the ball, he ran for over 100 yards. Receiving, he had 7 catches for 71 yards. Brandon Ayuk, welcome back, kid. 6 catches, 148 yards. 4 total touchdowns for Christian McCaffrey. I mean, this man did it all. Brock Purdy, incompleted 1 pass, 20 for 21, 283. Are we past the point where people are still doubting Brock Purdy?
I hope so, dog. I went past that point, and when he made it to when he went to the NFC Championship. When I seen him beat Tom Brady by 30 points, I was like, this kid might be for real. and then when I seen him go to the NFC Championship game, I was like, no. This kid is for real, deal. When he beat the Cowboys, I knew he was for real, deal. 20 for 21, 283. Like I always say.
He was perfect. He was perfect.
He's never going to blow you out the water with his stats. He's not going to throw for 400 yards. He's not going to throw for 4 touchdowns like Josh Allen did today. But what this kid's going to go out do, it's going to put you in position to win, Dill.
Yeah.
This kid is still undefeated when he starts and finishes the game. Christian McCaffrey, there's nothing to be said. If you play fantasy, check what the fuck he did. Yeah. Brandon Ayuk, when he's on the field, Dill, he's just special. Like I said, he might be the number 1.
I was just going to ask you that. I think he's playing like
Debo. Debo didn't play today. So
yeah, I know.
He was the number 1 today, but Dill, this is a second eruption of the season, Dill. 6 for 1, basically $150, no touchdowns. Still, he averaged 25 yards a carry.
Catch.
What more could you say? So, give Arizona. They made it a game. Early in the fourth quarter, they were only down by 12 points, but turnover late kind of ended it. But Dill, this 49ers team just keeps marching on.
Yeah, I mean. You mentioned he's not going to wow you with his stats, and that's just not his game. He doesn't need to. When he has the best line, he has the best running back in the league. He doesn't need to throw for 400 yards. He does what they want. And when you have Kyle Shanahan calling plays, he's always going to put you in the right position to play. But I do want to give the Cardinals a little credit. They stayed in the game for for 3 quarters. I think they stayed in the game. This is a gritty team. I know the box score looks a lot and you're like, oh, they got blown out. But if you actually watch the game, they were in it for most. I think we're at the point right now where I am, E. But if the books keep giving and disrespecting them and giving them double-digit underdogs, I think in some spots they're going to be live like they were last week on the road, or they were at home, but against the Cowboys. So what are your thoughts on this gritty Arizona team? They're better than I thought, I'll tell you that.
Still, they're better than I thought. I know we got news the other day that Kyle Murray looking like he will be needing more extended time off with his injury deal. So
I bet you he doesn't play this year.
He might not, to be honest. And if I'm Arizona, let it just be Joshua's Dobbs year. He's playing okay. You probably get a high draft pick anyway. You're going to have 2 high picks. Remember, they traded away in this year's draft. They traded back. So, give credit to Arizona. I think they're playing good. I think they're overachieving, Dill. Joshua Dobbs he's much better than I expected. I think the coach, the former Phillies OC, he's much better than I anticipated, Dill. Even though at 1-3, this Arizona Cardinals team been in every game. They should have beat the Giants too. So they'll give credit to the Arizona team. And even though they lost by almost 19 today, they've still been overachieving this season.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, big win for the 49ers. Still undefeated. All right, and then we get to the last game. I saved the best for the last for you, kid. 38-3. The Patriots wind up losing on the road. I'll let you take over. Is it time? I'll pose a question, or I want to get your thoughts real quick, and then I want to pose a question to you. So, what were your takeaways from the game?
Still, it was just a bad game. Defensively, offensively, Mac Jones didn't look good. Our running game never really got stable.
I hear it in your voice. I feel you. Trust me. I've been there.
It's just disappointment, Dylan. I'm kind of lost for words because it's one thing to get blown out, but it's another thing to get
Yeah.
embarrassed, and we got flat out embarrassed on national TV today, Dill, by the Dallas Cowboys. So I expected us to run the ball. I expected our defense to keep us in the game. I expected us to be successful in the red zone, even though Dallas kind of struggled in the red zone once again today. They still poured it on us though. Uh, two defensive touchdowns for the Dallas Cowboys. That's already killed us. The strip six early, then the pick six
Yeah.
before half. So Mac Jones with a couple bad reads, couple good reads, but more bad reads than good reads though. And then the Cowboys offensively, they didn't really do nothing special. Tony Pollard, we held them in check, the running game in check.
Mm-hmm.
Dak had himself a pretty good game, not gonna lie, Dill. CD didn't have an explosive game. We held everybody in check. My biggest concern moving forward is Christian Gonzalez health still. That's what I'm worried. I hope his shoulder injury ain't too bad. Hopefully it ain't a broken collarbone or anything like that, Dill. And with Mac Jones, I'm not gonna overreact, Dill. It's just that Dallas defense is really good. It's really good. Mac Jones so far this season has been playing well. Definitely much better than he has in the previous season, last season. So I'm not gonna kill him after this horrible performance. Though I'm not gonna do it.
I mean, the defense is good. Yes, the Dallas defense, but they only had 2 sacks. You guys had 3 sacks. You guys got more pressure on them than them. So I thought offensively, like pass protection, you guys kind of held up. Like you said, that there was just no run game. Whether it was Ramondre Stevenson or Zeke had, I think, like 5 or 6 carries. He didn't really get too many carries, but other than Hunter Henry, who had a couple big catches, no one was really open. You know what I mean? Without even Trayvon Diggs, like Kendrick Bourne, Juju Smith had that one catch, but other than that, Mike Gesicki couldn't do anything. The defense was just lights out, and like you said, you guys defensively, I didn't think were terrible. Like running the ball, they only ran for. Well, Kavon, he had that big 46-yard Turpin, had that big 46-yard burst. But other than that, like Tony Pollard only had 47 yards. CeeDee Lamb had that one run for 12 yards. But other than that, I think you guys held the running game. Jake Ferguson led the team in catches and receiving yards. But yeah, Christian Gonzalez, that is a worry. Hopefully he comes back or just misses a week and can come back. But you saw as soon as he went down, you told me they went right after his replacement, and then CeeDee Lamb, that's when he had the touchdown. So I wanted to pose a question because they did put him in late. Bailey Zappi, when do you start to pull the trigger if he continues to play games like this? And I don't want to say he cost you it because I think a multiple.
He was losing anyway.
You were losing regardless. But when does Bill say enough is enough? Because we've seen it last year where he's quick to pull the plug on Mac Jones if he's playing bad. So you give it a game, you give it 2 more. Like if you start 1-5, it's an issue.
So to be honest, I give it to like week 7, week 8. Whenever our bye week is, I know we play Dolphins week 8, week 7. I think it's the Bills. Week 6 is the Raiders. Next week, I think it's gonna be a tough game against the Saints.
Yeah,
it all depends. The Saints could defensively, they could make Mac Jones look bad again. I'm not gonna lie. Against the Raiders, he might go out there and ball against the Raiders. So it's what we're gonna see in these next few games. I feel like if he could, do pretty good against New Orleans and then beat the Raiders convincingly, I think he could keep his job. But if you lose to the Saints and the Raiders, I think we're gonna have a conversation.
Yeah, I agree. But overall, I thought I did pretty well. One above. I didn't have the best day, but 7 and 6 overall. We're up a unit. BJ Robinson, he went over his receiving yards in the first half. CJ Stroud went over his rushing yards. Kirk Cousins, sneaky, but he got over it. 1.5 passing touchdown. Jordan Addison had 0 receiving yards.
That
Awful.
should, yeah.
Adam Thielen went over his receiving yards. Miami +3. That whole game, I just read wrong. I took Miami +3. I took Jalen Waddle over 59 receiving yards. He had 46. I took Josh Allen over 35 rushing yards. He only had 17. He didn't need to. But yeah, that game just fucked me, I think, overall, because other than that, I had a really good day. Tyler Boyd had 4 catches. Baltimore won outright. I winded up taking the team total for the Denver Broncos over 24.5 at plus money. They scored 31. And then the 2 ones in the afternoon, I had Devontae Adams anytime touchdown. It was at plus 170. I was like, on pure value, I had to take it, but he
Especially
didn't.
after last week's performance.
Exactly. So I took that, and then I took Rico Dwaddle, the running back for the Cowboys, over 13.5 rushing yards, and he only had 9. But overall, 7-6 on the day so far, 9-8 with 1 game left to go. How was your day so far?
Still bad day so far. I think we're 3-6, but for the week 4-6 with Kansas City tonight could go 5-6, and then with Monday night hopefully end it off at 500. Kansas City, I got them in a teaser, so all they have to do is win by a field goal, and that's another winner right there. So all we got to do is Kansas City take care of business tonight. We talk about tomorrow's game. As long as that bet hits, we're 500. We're still in the green for the season overall. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, so there's still an opportunity to hit even. So that's good. Yeah, I got real quick on first Sunday night. I don't know if it's sharp line movement or what, but the number has come down. It's at 7.5 right now.
I think they saw Aaron Rodgers in the building. I think he's gonna give a crazy pregame speech. I don't know.
He was in the locker room. He will be there today in the box, I think, with Hackett. Either call him plays with him or just it always helps having another pair of eyes. He was in the hotel speaking to the guys. He said, you got to quit the pointing the finger. You guys need to grow up. We had a couple outbursts on the sideline last week. So apparently all the reports were the team was very ecstatic and excited that he's back in the building. So I don't know. I did like a little Taylor Swift parlay. It's the same game parlay. I took the Chiefs money line and I took anytime touchdown for Travis Kelce, and it's at plus 105. So
you said Taylor Swift parlay.
You like that? You like that? Yeah. Before we get to, and by the way, who bright idea was to put 2 New York teams on back-to-back prime time? We got the Giants tomorrow at MetLife, and tonight we got the Jets. I don't know whose idea that was, but
that's 2 weeks this season. Week 1, Sunday Night Football, Giants, Monday Night Jets. Now back to back in week 4. That's twice in a month. Come on now.
One was a blowout. One was a really good roller coaster game that we were in. Hopefully we have another good game tonight. I just want it to be respectable. That's all I really want. I know we're gonna lose, but Elvis, before we get to Monday night Seahawks and Giants, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebrations, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives, whether it's Huckleberry playing around the golf with the boys or an elderberry on a Sunday night watching the Jets upset the Chiefs. It doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Gene Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, E, let's get to it. Monday Night Football at MetLife. The Giants are hosting the Seattle Seahawks. Right now, Seahawks laying 1.5 on the road. If you want to take them on the money line, minus 126. If you want to take the home dog, plus 1.5 for the Giants, minus 110 on the money line, plus 108. Over under is at 47.5. We will start with the side. How are you playing it on the side?
Jill, give me the Seattle Seahawks on the money line, Dill. I'm surprised this line is a little higher. Don't get me wrong. I'll lean the minus 1.5. It's the same thing, to be honest. I'll take the minus 1.5. But I ended up just taking the money line straight up. You never know. But Geno Smith. I think Kenneth Walker the fourth had him the third. I always say the
Third,
fourth.
why you always say that?
I
You
don't know
want him
why.
to be the fourth so bad.
I always say the fourth. He had himself a game last week, though. Our boy Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, they're just too deep offensively. I don't think Giants are gonna be able to keep up with that firepower. I understand they was able to come back against that second half against his Cardinals. I don't think the defense is gonna allow it. I understand that they're at home. Saquon might be back. I understand that, but I don't give him a shot, especially if Saquon's not ready to go. I don't think Daniel Jones is gonna be impressive. We know his record without Saquon. Still, give me the Seahawks. I'm all over the Seahawks. -1.5 on the money line. It don't matter.
Yeah, I will be interesting to see if Saquon gives it a go. He is a game time decision. He did limited practice this week, so it will be interesting to go. But yeah, I'm on the same side. Give me the Seahawks -1.5, or you could just take him on the money line at -124. I am seeing -127s out there, so kind of the same thing. But I'm assuming Saquon will play. I do think he'll give it a go, but I still think it's going to take a few series for him to get going. I've liked what I've seen from Seattle's offense on early downs this season. They just need to short things up on third and fourth down. And on the flip side, the Giants have one of the worst passing attacks in the league. And even if they do want to run the ball with Saquon, I feel like Seattle's rush defense has definitely gotten better since last season. So I think this is a good spot for the Seahawks. We know primetime. Daniel Jones has not won in primetime. He does not look good in primetime. I just think this is a very good spot for the Seattle Seahawks. So I'm going to lay the -1.5 at -110. As for the total opened up around 44. Since then, it has gone up around 2.5 points. I'm seeing 47. So it's gone up 3 points right now. Do you agree with the line movement? Do you like the over?
I'll lean the over just because I feel like Seattle's going to be able to put up points. And I think the Giants could, put up 17. Possibly even, I give them put up 17 points still, even without Saquon. I just feel like, Seattle could go out there and put up some points on the board. We saw them go into Detroit, handle business. And I think if they could go into Detroit and handle business against a really good Detroit team, I think they could dismantle the Giants on the road. So it wouldn't shock me if they put up, possibly 27 points themselves, still 30 points. So as long as the Giants put up, a respectable amount, 17 to 20 points, I think it will go over. So I'll lean over just because I expect the Seattle offense to roll.
Real quick, Adam Schefter just tweeted, I want to read you this stat. Don't mean to go backwards. Texans rookie quarterback CJ Stroud has 1,212 passing yards this season. He surpassed Andrew Luck with 1,208 for the second most passing yards by a player in his first 4 games. Only one player has more. Can you name him? He is not in the league right now.
He's not in the league right now. In the first 4 games?
Of his career, yes.
Cam
I'll tell
Newton.
you. Good job! Bing, 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 bing! Attaboy!
I think that's why Carolina fans are just like so.
Because they sell Cam. Exactly.
Yeah. Like, bro, nobody is Cam. Cam was like 24, 25 years old, Division II champion, and then a national championship.
Yeah.
Like, he's a grown-ass man.
He threw for 1,386 yards, so he's the most. But CJ Stroud is the second quarterback in NFL history with no interceptions in each of his first 4 starts, minimum 30 attempts in each start, joining only one player in 2019 who did that. Can you name that player?
Damn.
CJ Stroud. Yeah. He plays in the league. He's a backup.
Fuck, man. We just spoke about him last week, man, and I already forgot his name.
I'll tell you.
Go.
Gardner Minshew.
Yep.
And also, Adam Schefter just tweeted, crushing, but no surprise, Tre'Davious White tore his Achilles. He will go. He will be out the rest of the season. That's just devastating to that defense. But back to the game. I kind of agree, while the Seahawks offense, they've kind of come to life in the last 2 outings, they still sit 26th in the league in allowed per play. They can't get off the field on third down sometimes. So they still give up a lot of points. And The Seahawks, they failed to deny an opponent a touchdown in 7 stands inside their own 20 line. New York, they're 27th in the league in second half, and they're just 1 second half comeback away from being 0-3 straight up and ATS. So, they both do kind of slower tempos. Giants, they run one of the slowest tempos in the league. They are 1-2 towards the over. Seahawks, they're kind of middle of the pack. One, I guess, trend I can give you, Seahawks 7-2 towards the over on the road dating back to last season. So I don't know about the full game because I just don't trust the Giants offense, but I guess I would lean the team total over for the Seattle Seahawks. But other than that, nothing official for a total. Player props, though. I think we could actually take advantage on some of these player props. What are you eyeing in this game, player prop wise?
Dill, I like Kenneth Walker anytime touchdown, Dill. He's having himself a great season. He's clearly the number one back. Even though the rookie ran that dude over last week, it was a fucking highlight. But I think Kenneth Walker could find himself in the end zone, Dill. And if Saquon is not able to go, Dill, I think this dude's going to be able to – he's going to need to run the ball. Daniel Jones over 35.5 rushing, Dill. Not an official play yet. I'm going to wait till tomorrow to see if Saquon's not able to go, Dill. But if Saquon's not able to go, this Giants offense is going to have to find some way to run the ball. And Daniel Jones is more than capable of doing it. I think he gets couple quarterback design runs. And Dill, I think he could possibly get, 40 to 50 yards rushing. So give me Daniel Jones over 35.5 rushing. I'm going to lean it. Wait till Saquon news, game time decision. And then Kenneth Walker, anytime touchdown at -110.
So I have 2. Darius Slayton under 42.5 receiving yards. He's only gone over this number 1 time this season. It was against Arizona when they had that crazy comeback in the second half. But he had 15 yards his first game against a rainy day against the Cowboys. Last game against another good defense, San Francisco, he only had 32 receiving yards. Now it's at 42.5, -114 towards the under. I think this is a good play. Seattle, they have a good secondary with Tariq Wooden. They got the rookie Witherspoon. Jamal Adams is making his debut from an injury. So they're getting healthier. And I think secondary, I think that he's going to have a long night. So Darius Slayton under 42.5 receiving yards. And I'll go over with the receiver now. Give me DK Metcalf over 60.5 receiving yards. The G-men, they play a lot of man coverage, and DK crushes man coverage. 3.28 yards per route run last season, and he drew 37% of Geno's targets in man coverage. This year, they've only had 13 route runs so far this season, but he's still averaging 2.38 yards per route. The Giants, they run man coverage, like I said, and this is they run it at the league's highest rate out of any defense. They like to put pressure. We've seen the defensive coordinator. I think he's the old defensive coordinator from the Ravens. So he likes to put pressure a lot. And I just don't really think they have anyone that is that good that could keep up with DK or any of the receivers, to be honest. I think the receiving core for the Seattle has a great matchup tomorrow. They got 2 rookies on the outside, Banks from Maryland and this other kid. So they're young on the outside, and I just think Geno Smith will have a good game. So yeah, give me DK Metcalf over 60.5 receiving yards. He's gone over this in 2 of the 3 games. First game against the Rams, he got kind of banged up. He only had 47 receiving yards. Against Detroit, bounced back, he had 75. And then last week against Carolina, he had 112. So you see a trend. Against good defense, he kind of struggles. But against bad defenses, he's going to put up anywhere from 70 to 100 yards. So DK Metcalf over 60.5 receiving yards. And I'm going to go Darius Slayton under 42.5 receiving yards. Anything else that I missed, E?
Nah, Dill. That's all, Dill. I do like the pick. Metcalf over 60 as well, Dill. I think the number is too short. The only way, if they double coverage him, like I'm talking about like 2, 3 times out of a possession, Dill. That's the only way I see him going under. I do like the over 60.5, so I'll probably follow you with that one.
Yeah, and I was looking at the anytime touchdown, Kenneth Walker. Is it plus 101 or is it minus 101 I'm seeing?
No, I got minus 110. So if you see a minus 101,
yeah, I'm seeing even money out there. So And I'm looking. Didn't he score 2 touchdowns on back-to-back weeks? So he has 4
Yeah.
touchdowns. He was
Yeah.
held to 0 against the Rams, who I think are playing better than most people expected. So, yeah, even money for a guy that's gone into the end zone 4 times in the last 2 weeks. And you know they're going to pound the ball when they get it inside the red zone against that defense.
And you're going to trust Walker over the rookie. Come on now.
Yeah, rookie has been okay, though. I will say that.
No, rookie's good. None, but we know when it's second and goal, third and goal, they're going to give it to Walker.
But that's it, E. Anything else? The MLB playoffs are set.
One last thing, though. Yeah. Two things real quick. Want to give the flowers to Miguel Cabrera, Mickey. Shout out one of the greatest. I think it was phenomenal what the Tigers was able to do for him at one of the last games today. Kids, everything. So shout out Mickey. And then sorry to end it on a sad note, but RP my dude Tim Wakefield, fucking legend. One of the greatest pitchers I've seen. I understand the numbers won't speak out to it, but have you ever seen that curve, that knuckle
ball?
Have you ever seen the knuckleball live, people? You appreciate Tim Wakefield. So just RP to a fucking legend. RP, rest in peace, Tim Wakefield, man. Thank you. As a Red Sox fan, I thank you.
And 57 just died way too soon. It was announced just a few days ago he had brain cancer, but I do think he had it for longer. But, you know, respect to if they want to keep it all private, the information, that's their business. But, yeah, RIP a legend. That I remember. I'm not a Red Sox fan, but I remember growing up, that knuckleball, man, was fucking lethal. So, yeah, send our prayers to his wife. He has a kid, Trevor, as well. So very, very sad news on that. On a positive note, though, Buck Showalter's gone. He's done for the Mets. Good. Fuck you.
He denied the job. He don't want it.
We're going a different way. Fuck him. So I'm good. I'm happy on that. Right now, I will say real quick the bracket. First seed overall, who has a bye in the National League, Atlanta Braves. The Orioles in the American League have the number 1 seed, Houston. They have the 2 seed in the American League. 2 seed for the Dodgers is the Dodgers in the National League. All 4 teams have a bye. 3 versus 6 in the National League. Brewers versus the Diamondbacks. 4 versus 5 Phillies and Marlins. 3 versus 6 in the American League is the Twins and the Blue Jays. And the 4th team and the 5th team in the American League is the Tampa Bay Rays and the Texas Rangers. And the WNBA finals are all set. Aces and Liberty. I'm all good regardless. I got a ticket for both of them to win. So I'm going to just sit back and relax. I am rooting for the Aces, though. But other than that, kid, anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
Let's just hopefully we could pull one out of our asses though and end the weekend and week 4 on a positive at 7-6 still.
Yes, I think we will. Good luck tonight. Good luck tomorrow. And on behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, myself, we'll see you guys on Wednesday. We'll recap the couple games. We got our power rankings and we'll have our best bets for Thursday night football. So follow along our social media, Twitter and Instagram at The Dream Wager. We go live every Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday on YouTube, youtube.com/The Dream Wager. You guys can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. If you haven't already, please subscribe, rate, review. All that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Everyone have a great few days. Good luck on your wagers. Be safe. Be well, and we'll see you guys down the road. Peace.